Hey guys, it's me, and I'm back with another process video. And this is my second time recording it because the first time my neighbor was mowing their lawn and the sound really picked up. So I decided to just kind of redo it. Just so you didn't have to listen to it go like, now you have to listen to me do it. They're half the layout. Anyway, so scrapping a picture of my daughter and this pretty picture of a daisy that I took, the daisy that she was holding, um, I don't know, a year or two ago, something like that. I don't even remember. Um, yeah, but I'm using that Pink Fresh Studio Felicity paper with all those cute stripes and patterns going on. It really picks up the grass green and the pink in her shirt and the yellow in the center of the daisy really well. So I decided that I'm going to do that, and I want it to go on an angle to match the stripes, just to kind of be a little different. Um, so yeah, I decided I'm going to back stuff with a doily, and I thought I was going to use a picture frame around one of the pictures because the white border that I usually print on my photos didn't work this time. Not sure. It usually works perfectly, but it didn't this time. And so one side of the picture of my daughter does not have a white border, and it's bugging me because I like white borders on my photos. And I end up just cutting it off and backing it with white cardstock to give it that border. But I'm impatiently, as you can see, looking for a specific frame that I wanted to use, and I don't end up finding it. So maybe that's half the reason I end up backing it. But yeah. I'm not sure. I wasn't sure what papers I wanted to use. I ended up actually using cut-aparts from the Pink Fresh Studio Felicity collection as well, which I believe all came in the March. I think it was March. Hip kit. Uh, there was a lot of stuff from the Felicity collection. I ended up using almost all the stuff that we got from the Felicity collection. So if anyone's struggling with what to do with all that stuff and they're subscribed to HipKit, there's an idea for you to do. Use this stripe to make a cool diagonal layout. You know, I mean, I think it was cool. I did it. I liked it, and I videotaped it, so obviously I must like it. Anyway, I'm deciding if I want to just do vellum or if I want to back the photos with anything. And I do decide, as I mentioned, that I want to back them. And then I do back them with vellum afterwards and put the doilies just to kind of soften it. I was going to use a cut file, like a floral cut file behind them. And I kind of decided I've been using cut files a lot lately. So I wanted to do something without cut files because I don't want to like use cut files almost like as a crutch, like constantly use cut files because you know I want to appeal to people that don't own a silhouette because I only have owned a silhouette for a few months, so I don't want to rely completely on cut files. Bing! I don't know if you guys can hear that. That was my computer binging because something on Facebook must have popped up. Unfortunately, I can't mute it because then I would mute everything, and that won't really work so well. So I apologize. I'm gonna just maybe close it out, and hopefully that'll solve that. Sorry about the little mouse ticks. Anyway, so yeah, so I just had like pieces left over of some of the cut aparts, and so I just kind of turned them into little layers just to kind of have those colors around the photo as well. So the cute aquas and that mustardy yellow and the grass green and the peach. And I like that one that said happy. It just made me happy. I folded my vellum in two just to have a little bit more texture to it, a little bit more dimension, and to make it a little more opaque and less transparent. So I kind of like the effect that it gave. I do fiddle around with where I'm going to place these photos and which one's going to go over top of which and everything like that because you can see it's kind of making this weird L shape with the green going up in between with the happy. And I do take notice that that is occurring, so I remedied that by putting putting the flower underneath. So now I'm going to take these Amy Tangerine rub-ons that I think we got in this month's kit, and the colors matched really well, like the peaches and the pinks and the yellows and the greens matched well, and I wanted some flowers going on, but because I have a big picture of a flower, I didn't want to use like a huge flower on the layout as well, and then kind of detract from the pretty daisy. So anyway, I keep thinking there's like a bump underneath my paper, and there's what it is. There's paint underneath my my mat, my Heidi Swap mat, and it's making a bump underneath there. And anyway, that's why I was moving everything around. So I'm just debating where I'm going to put my rub-ons. These rub-ons went on really well. I mean, I did kind of mess up one, but I don't mind it being completely messed up. I can usually go back and fix it a bit. I've had issues with rub-ons in the past where no matter how hard I press, they don't rub off or things like that. Or they didn't work really well, and they kind of bugged me that way. But these ones, I was really happy with how smoothly they went on. So, yeah. That's pretty much all the flowers that I actually end up adding to this layout. I think that's enough. I didn't want to go too overboard. The paper's so busy that I don't feel I need a lot of embellishments on it. So I'm just going to put on my title, which is unusual for me because usually my title is the last thing I put on, not the first thing I put on. And I'm going to do a mixture of capital and lowercase letters. I don't know what it is, but when I get that particular font, because that's the Heidi Swap Shine font, and it's in like a kind of an emerald green. But that style of font they've had many a times in thickers, and I own different kinds, like in black and stuff. And every time I have them, I have to do the mixture of lower and capital letters, and I don't know why. I just really like the look of it together. So I'm trying to get it where it's not too many uppercase, not too many lowercase. So I entitled it Flower Child. Like, you know, I don't know. Just kind of, I just like to be a little clever with my titles and not always have the same titles. Like, obviously I could have written like Flower Girl, but I mean, she wasn't a flower girl, so that wouldn't have made sense. And, you know, she may end up being a flower girl in my sister's wedding eventually. So I'm going to need this. I'm going to need to save that title. So I took the Pinkfresh Studio Felicity washi tape that we got in the last kit, the March kit. And I'm making extra stripes with it. Just patches of color on it. And it, of course, just kind of busies it up a little bit more, makes it even more stripes going on, which might bother people. I'm not sure. It doesn't bother me. I don't mind a busy paper. I don't mind working with busy pattern paper. I know it can be intimidating to some people. There's definitely pattern papers that are intimidating to me. Certain colors are very intimidating to me. And I'm trying to break free. And I feel like singing that Queen song right now. But yeah, I'm trying to kind of get out of my comfort zones with some things. I was mentioning this in my last video, that I used a lot of bright colors, a lot of primary colors that are not normally my style. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. Breaking out of a comfort zone. So this is kind of breaking out of a comfort zone too, because I don't know, I wouldn't normally do something like this. And rub-ons too. I own a lot of rub-ons and I never used my rub-ons. I just kind of have them. I can never, there's something about them for me. When I started scrapbooking, I would see rub-ons all the time, and they just, I don't know, they never looked, they weren't, when I first started scrapping, rub-ons were different than they are now. So they just looked kind of silly on a layout way back in the, I only started scrapping in 2009, but when I first bought rub-ons, I didn't like the look of them, so I never used them. So even when I got them in kits, I never used them, but now I'm starting to try to use them as a nice design element. Because I've seen a lot of people do some really awesome stuff with them. Like Wilna Furstenberg and Irit do some interesting stuff with mixed media and rub-ons. I was debating if I wanted to bring in some wooden elements into this, and I had these flowers from, like, I think an old Scraptastic kit. Excuse me, my throat's getting dry. But they would have ended up covering up my rub-ons too much. So I decided not to use them, and I thought maybe I'll use a little cute little watering can, and that really would have worked well, and I did like it there, but I could not find like a complementary wood veneer to go anywhere else on the layout, like something else that would have kind of worked well with it to go on the other side, because it's like, from, you know, if I'm going to do an element on one side, it's got to be mimicked in some way on the other side. So I grabbed more Pink Fresh Studio stuff. I grabbed these little hearts, and like, they're wood veneers, and they're half painted with a color and then half just regular. So there's pink and then a blue and a yellow and a green. And I do a row of all 4 colors, just to kind of, you know, give that look of motion. It's kind of going up into the top. And I do my little journaling, and it's not much journaling. I didn't, this wasn't a picture I needed to say a lot of, to say a lot about. It's a picture of my daughter holding a flower. Just her enjoying nature, the daisies that grow around our house. So, not really needing a lot to say there. But I'm trying to figure out what I want to do, because I find that lower right-hand corner with the turquoise and yellow and peach stripes, there's not much going on down there, and it's bugging me. I will go and do my Heidi Swap Color Shine in Primrose. I couldn't decide what color I wanted to use. I was thinking of using more yellow, but there's so much yellow going on. So I decided to bring in the color from her shirt. And I cover my picture, and then I get some on my picture. And I think we all know what would have happened if I tried to rub that off. So then I decide to take some inspiration from Crafty Jen Scow, I think is how you pronounce her last name. She's one of the people I subscribe to, and I've seen her put Heidi Swap Color Shine on her photos. And I think she got inspired by somebody else doing it. I'm not sure. But so I decided to actually put the pink on the photos, and I really like how that turned out. Definitely going to be doing that in the future, I think. So I'm just trying to put a little bit more washi tape down on the bottom. There. In a way that I like. And then I decided I want to back it. And I find this grass green cardstock that, I'm not sure where it came from. Probably an old kit. Probably a Scraptastic kit, because they used to come with cardstock. And, or I may have bought it at Michael's, I'm not sure. And I love that color of green, especially for spring layouts or like Easter kind of layouts, you know, matching it with the pink and the turquoise. And so I figured this would be perfect to kind of ground the photo, or ground the layout. And I thought I was just going to do 2 sides, backed, as you can see, and I do end up going and doing it on all 4 sides, so I have to cut it down a little bit more, which is fine. I'm going to cut, I was just testing the Heidi Swap. I didn't want to do my heat tool on it because I didn't want it to affect the picture, so I'm just letting it dry on its own. So I didn't want to tip the picture, the layout upside down or anything like that. Anyway, I'm just cutting away a little bit more, and I'm not measuring this. I don't measure that kind of stuff. I should, because then it'd be perfectly even, but I'm really not that concerned that all 4 sides end up perfectly even. As long as they end up somewhat even, then I'm a happy camper. Anyway, so yeah, so my video is just about done. So you'll see the pictures when it's all said and done. And I don't think I did anything extra to this layout like I have in some of the other layouts. But that's just me rubbing off the excess glue. So thanks everybody for watching. Have an awesome day. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So bye. Woo.